Okay, I don't know if you saw the last topic we covered, but we covered some more gems from Jacinda Ardern. We covered her UTE tax incentive scheme for electric vehicles. Check that out if you haven't seen it. But yeah, let's move for this topic. I'd like to move away from bashing the leader of New Zealand and go on to bashing the leader of America. Now, people have said a lot of things about Joe Biden, mainly negative. I mean, of course, the liberals have been going on about how amazing he is and how he's like a saint compared to Trump and all that. But and there's a lot of stuff that can go to refute that. But one thing I feel like the conservatives and the liberals that they should get along with and they should agree on is that Trump was way more interesting and entertaining to watch than Biden's press conferences. Like, if you compare like a Trump rally to, or even like a Trump a clip from when Trump was in office and doing a press conference to when Biden was doing one, then it's like night and day. Like, I say what you will about Trump, but like his attitude, his charisma, his personality definitely made things entertaining, at least. Biden, yeah, not the greatest. And stuff like this clip doesn't help.
COVID has taken this year, just since the outbreak, has taken more than 100 years. Look, here's the lives. When you think about it.
You know, the rapidly rising I don't know.
I just spoke at Dartmouth on healthcare at the medical school, or not. I guess I wasn't actually on the campus, but the people from the medical school were at the. I want to be clear. I'm not going nuts. I'm not sure whether it was a medical school or where the hell I spoke, but it was on the campus. I propose, and I'm going to digress slightly. We're in a situation. The president asked me to head up a cancer moonshot. Another country and annexed a significant portion of it called Crimea. He's saying that it was my boss, it was his fault.
Guatemala, El Salvador, and to go in and say in Honduras and say, look, I took on Putin in terms of Iraq. In terms of what was going on in Ukraine.
Although maybe he's not allowed to be entertaining or interesting. I mean, that would go against the talking cards, the talking points, wouldn't they? Play the clip to show what I mean.
My colleagues about how we were all getting along together, but the truth of the matter is we did. I felt, it wasn't about me, but it was about America. I felt a genuine sense of enthusiasm that America was back at the table and fully engaged. And now I'm going to be heading off to Brussels, to NATO, and many of the same people are going to be at that table and in NATO, and to make the case we are back as well. We do not view NATO as a sort of a protection racket. We believe that NATO is vital to our ability to maintain American security for the remainder of the century. And there's a real enthusiasm. I made it clear, and I pointed out, and I thanked them. You know, Article 5 is an attack on one, is an attack on all. Well, what Americans sometimes don't forget, remember what happened in 9/11?
You know, I really wouldn't think that a Democrat would need a card to tell them to blame Trump for something. I feel like they would just do that on instinct. I don't think they needed a card to just be like, oh, what am I supposed to do? Blame Trump. All right, cool. I thought that would have been like the natural reaction. Like, there's earthquakes and fires and things are erupting. Blame Trump. COVID, blame Trump. Yeah, you notice how back in 2020, how everyone was going off about Trump for like not being useful at all and all of the deaths happening, and they're all blaming Trump. But like now, no one's doing that with Biden. What fun times we live in. But another factor that could lead to why Biden is so boring and obnoxious to listen to is because, well, he's kind of not given the liberty of like calling on the fun reporters who would lead to interesting conversations and ask real questions, as shown in this clip.
I'll take your questions, and as usual, folks, they gave me a list of the people I'm going to call on. So, Jonathan, Associated Press.
Do you remember back from 2017 to 2020 when Trump was in office, and when constantly, day to day, like the news reporters were always hounding him, and they were always like, every word he said, every tweet that he said, they were always going off about it? Yeah, those were interesting times, shall we say. But now, of course, we can't have Biden getting asked by like actual conservative, and not like Mitch McConnell, like actual conservative people, because then they'd ask like real questions like, why do you suck so much, and why have you been screwing up everything with the border? Thank you very much. For more stories, be sure to subscribe, or I will be covering the downfall of society. Oh, what am I saying? Earth is already gone. The liberals have already won. We're just like an underground resistance, but like we're losing badly. I'm just gonna go cry in the bathroom now. Yep. That's the state of the world, folks.